where there's a problem, that's where you're going to really make it. Because if there's no problem, if there's nothing to be solved.
The gentleman I'm about to have a conversation with is someone who has shaped the entertainment industry in a lot of ways because his animations have been going viral for years.
Mimi ni Bogwa. Niko na Bogwa National Bank.
Hey baby, nakupenda kama vile mende.
How comes unasema unanipenda but uleti hizo mguu zao kwa DMs?
How do you keep yourself more creative? Like how do you keep your ideas coming, the innovation? How do you strengthen that part of your brain?
Like the brain is just it's the same as the rest of the other parts of the body. If you don't exercise it, it will shrink. It will become weak.
What were some of your biggest challenges? Because now you're getting in all this work, which is amazing. You're growing, but the demand is crazy. So what are some of the challenges you were facing as you were building up this huge portfolio?
In the beginning, it was a bit difficult to convince clients, to pay you to do this for them.
You don't find a lot of people dedicating a lot of time and work just for social media. Like most animators will create when there's a client paying.
Companies are doing less of adverts and you're doing more of hiring influencers.
That's true.
And I'm like, okay, me, I can't be an influencer, but these characters can be influencers. So let's make them popular and they'll become influencers. Clients will pay to use them. And the beauty of it is we can make limitless number of influencers with cartoon characters.
CEOs, we'll get back to the conversation shortly. Now, I quickly want to recognize our incredible partner for the next few episodes. This show is very personal to me, and I always want to bring you guys the best production quality and bring you the most inspiring of guests. And to achieve this, sometimes we need to work with like-minded partners who share in our vision. I am continuously astounded by companies that have been running for over a century. Like, how do you keep that legacy, that continuity, that culture going? This is something I deeply admire. Now, our partner, the company has been running for over 200 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Walker. As business owners, we want to build companies that will outlast us. I see a lot of similarities between Johnny Walker Blue and becoming CEO in that we both want to celebrate achievement, growth, and the journey of becoming the best version of ourselves. Johnny Walker Blue, just like the guests we bring on this show, is defined by one, depth of flavor, like the bold character of a visionary leader. Two, depth in character, shaped by experiences. Just like every great CEO is forged through challenges and triumphs. Three, depth in heritage, just like the paths of the world's most influential leaders. And four, depth in complexity, where each layer tells a story. Just like every decision made by a CEO builds towards greatness. Like every leader we bring to our show, Johnny Walker Blue is not just a drink. It's a symbol of mastery, wisdom, and ambition. Now let's get back to the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, classmates, karibuni yet again to another concert for businessmen. Excited about today's conversation because it's someone from my industry, so I'm excited about that. We're still filming at Longonot Place. Come book them for your staycation in this period. Kwanza hii time ya sherehe hivi, holiday. Come check them out. They have amazing rates. Waambie wakupatie discounts za field director, watakujenga sana. The gentleman I'm about to have a conversation with is someone who has shaped the entertainment industry in a lot of ways because his animations have been going viral for years and we make a lot of jokes. He's changed cultures, the way we speak sometimes, some of the words we use. And currently his animations went so viral that Will Smith, all the way from shared his animations and they've been in communication, uni mtu anaongea na Will Smith one-on-one when I grow up. And I'm excited to have this conversation with Mike. Niaje Buda?
Fiti sana.
Uko fiti?
Niko poa sana.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, bana.
Manze.
Hey, it's been a long time, bana.
It's been a long time. I know we worked on a project with Mike a couple of years back. I'm not sure I'm allowed to share it. I'll confirm if I can share it, then I'll share it as we're having this conversation. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Sasa unafanya nini Kenya mtu yangu? Wewe ni mtu Hollywood wanatambua.
Yeah. Lazima hata kama kuna kwa kugumu,
Yeah,
I just have to stay and bring up this country.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Your brand name is Fatboy Animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the amazing works you've shared. I think top of mind is Mbogwa really went viral. Kulikuwa na mse wa Masgwembe alikuwa aitwa nani
But
huyo?
it's called Masgwembe.
Masgwembe.
Yeah, that was his name.
That was his name.
Yeah.
And then there was a caveman. These were the fiber ads. I think the
Yeah, it was
fiber
like
ads were the first ones that really went viral.
Yeah. So the caveman, his name was Boss.
Boss.
Yeah, it's just saying like boss.
Yeah.
Mkamba atasema boss. Sama boss.
Mbos.
Yeah.
Mbozi way. And currently you're doing some amazing work with Kapinto.
Thank
I
you.
think he is really going viral to the point of Will Smith sharing that clip. Wacha tuanzie hapo. How did the news get to you? And how did you feel, one? And what was the reaction after that to you and the work that you've been doing?
So how it got to me, first before that, I think a couple of weeks before, someone DM'd me and asked me, "Are you aware? First of all, Nick Cannon is following you." So I'm like, I didn't know. So now I'm saying Nick Cannon, and then a few weeks later, someone else says, "Yo, Will has shared your stuff."
Right.
So I'm like, oh wow. So I go, I see it. He's like, he loves this character. And then I think a couple of days later, he shares another episode that we did.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I got excited, kabisa.
Yo, I can imagine. Yeah. And after that, the numbers
went up. Yeah. It gave me like a boost. Huh?
Right.
The followers ni muhimu.
Yeah, of course.
Those are the ones who will convert to, money.
Right.
So that shot up and
wow, amazing. So you've been primarily doing animations most of your career life.
Yes.
Take us back to your earliest child years, like how you grew up. Did you grow up in a very art-centric, artistic family? When did you know you could sketch or draw? How far back do you remember?
So I remember, I think from the time I was in, is it called pre-unit?
Yeah.
Pre-unit.
Yeah.
And nursery, I was already drawing. And I was drawing really well compared to the other kids. So my favorite time was when we were doing art lessons. I used to do it all the time when I was bored at home. I'd just pick up a piece of paper and start drawing. Now, we didn't have so much, we didn't have a lot of TV back then. So there was not much to do. Kukuwa na DSTV nini.
Yeah.
Local station was starting at 12 noon.
That's true.
Until then, we just watched those two colored rainbow lines.
Yeah.
So I'd always be, either playing out or busy drawing stuff.
Right.
And I've been doing that since then.
Okay.
Now, what changed is now, technology as it started coming in and realized, I can take this a bit further. So I used to watch a lot of cartoons as well.
Right.
So my routine was cartoons first, then homework, journey.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that made me fail in all the other subjects because I wasn't doing my homework. So watching cartoons. But then that built up the talent, I think, more and more. Right. I think it was in form. Watching the cartoons made me want to be able to make them. Because I always used to wonder, how do they make these things? How? Because especially like Tom and Jerry, I'm like, that cat is not real. That mouse is not real. How are they chasing after each other and fighting and all that?
Right.
I want to be able to do that. I think in Form 2 is when I started now getting into 3D animation. Okay. So I was introduced now into the softwares by my art teacher. It wasn't part of the curriculum, but he was like, hey, this guy is talented. Let me show him a bit of 3D animation. So when I saw that, now I got even more excited, started learning, like teaching myself, trying to learn the softwares.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So this is now from high school. Did this go on after high school?
Yeah. So after high school, so basically I was just in like teaching myself different softwares. the 3D software, the 2D softwares, kina Photoshop. No, actually, there was no Photoshop. It was Corel Draw.
Ulianzia Corel. Wewe. Yeah, that's
the
amazing.
struggle na hiyo kitu mbaya sana. And then joined after high school, joined college for a few months to do, I think it was animations and motion graphics.
Right.
Just immediately after high school. I didn't stay there for long because maybe a couple of months. Then I joined uni now in Malaysia, where I was now studying engineering.
Right.
So when I went to Malaysia, again I changed from engineering to animation.
Okay.
And then I tried to change into animation. I wasn't able to again because that school was fun. Wazazi wakasema wewe bana, hii kazi yote unatufanyisha
bana.
So
ulienda shule kufanya
engineering.
But you've been sketching and doing art all this time.
Yeah.
So
and then sinajua there's that fear. There's that fear, and pia mzazi atakuuliza sasa, how do you expect to make a career and make a living doing ukichora watu? Kazi yako ni kuchora watu. I think even my uncles were like, this is a lost case bana, huyu wacha tu achore watu. So I was like, so now that that cafe is now what made now switch to engineering.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I sat in that engineering class. Sijai sweat kama mbaya kuliko hata leo.
So I laughed nimecheka because Abel Mutua, my business partner, was also in an engineering class. Alikaa kwa hiyo class one day, the next day alikuwa kwa class yetu ya film. So I totally understand what you're saying.
He was. And the funny thing is, what actually gave me the courage to not apparently just switch to animation was there was this engineering guy. I think he's from Tanzania. He was in the same class. And this guy never used to come to class.
Right.
But I don't know when he was studying because he was always partying and stuff. But then when time for exams came, this guy finishes, passes everything, and anamaliza haraka. Me, I'm looking at the paper there. I'm like, the only part I know is where you write your name. That's so I was like, bana. This guy is able to do it because he's where he needs to be.
Yeah.
So then I was like, you know what? I'll figure it out to Kombele. I'm going to learn animation. So now I came back to Kenya and joined Shangtao.
Oh, wow.
But before that, now I stayed home for I think one whole year. And this one whole year I dedicated it to now learning 3D properly, intensively.
Right.
So day in, day out, I was waking up, picking up the books, studying the whole day, eating, going to bed for one whole year.
Right.
I didn't go partying with people. I didn't go for birthdays, no family gatherings. It was really intense.
Wow.
And then after that 1 year, then I was like, let me try a college now. Let me join Shangtao. I think I stayed for 1 week.
You already
I was
way
1 week,
past.
I was like, no. So then I left and now got a job working on Tinga Tales.
Okay.
That's the first job I had now. I worked there for a few months as a junior animator. Then got promoted to a lead animator.
Right.
And then did that for another 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Quite the journey.
Yeah. That's just the beginning. Sijui niendelee mpaka mwisho hata tutakava.
No, tuendelee. Why not? So do you remember the very first time you got paid for doing an animation and how that felt and how much was it?
I'll tell you, it was actually I think there's a part I skipped. The very first animation I did. So that 1 year I stayed home learning.
Yeah.
Just after that, just before joining the Shangtao, I got a job, like commissioned work to do some animation.
Okay.
This was like as kids nursery rhymes, 2D animation, hand drawn, very simple. It was a lot of work. It was so much work because it's just me and sheets of paper and pen and pencils and colors. I have to do every frame.
Oh my goodness.
And I got paid 30K. Yeah, this was like a 1 hour animation, and it's just but it's looping and looping. But then still a lot of work because every page has to be scanned,
Let me try and break it down for our classmates over here. When he says 1 hour of work, so typically when you're doing a video like what you're watching right now, we usually shoot at 24 frames per second. So that's per second. So 1 hour has how many seconds? What was 1 hour? 1 hour. 1 hour. Sio 1 minute. Hey, no. 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. So 24 frames per second. So 3,600 seconds times 24. So he had to sketch all of that. Yeah, just to give people perspective. Yeah. That's a lot of work.
It was a lot. And I did it twice. But the good thing, what that gave me was discipline, a lot of discipline.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And because now when I came now to doing 3D, I mean, it's a walk in the park. It's so easy. It doesn't feel like a lot of work.
Yeah.
So that was the first job. I felt very good. I went to open my first bank account, Equity Bank. Until I was walking in town, like no one can touch me now.
I'm 30K deep. Yo, I can imagine.
And that was back then. That was 2008, 7 there.
Right.
So that 30K was, and before I finished it, because I never used to spend so much. So by the time I was finishing the second job for another 30K, which I really had to beg the client to pay me.
Story of our lives.
Now I had 50. Nilikuwa nimekula 10. Now 50K. Now I was untouchable. I was the elite.
You were there. Nice. I love it. Wow.
That's I felt it felt good. It's the reward you get for that.
Yeah,
it's a reward for the hard work you put in.
So now you go into this other job and you're doing you worked there, I think 2 years you mentioned. You started off as a junior animator, went to a lead animator. What are some of the projects you worked on there that maybe we might know of?
So Tinga, just the Tinga Tales.
Oh, the Tinga Tales.
Yeah.
That is a big show. It is wow. That was proper. Oh my goodness. And you guys were paired with animators from Hollywood.
They're from UK.
Oh, they're from the UK.
Yeah, from Tiger Aspect Production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. What was that experience like for you?
That was like that dream I had as a kid. This was now heaven to me. Now this is where I wanted to be.
Because you grew up watching the cartoons and now you were making.
Now I was making them. And I was in that team as well. I also wanted to be with that team.
Right.
Of, these guys who produce animations. And now I was there.
Right.
And I learned a lot. I learned so much there. They were making 2D animation.
Yeah.
And then that's when my interest really grew for now 3D animation. 3D. And I was like, I need to make, I need more than this. I need to make something bigger.
Right.
So now I started trying to look for the 3D softwares, trying to, but by this time, technology imeendelea. So things are getting easier and easier.
Right.
Access to information, access to softwares, the computers that we use are becoming more and more affordable. Right. You can get like high-end ones.
Yeah.
So I saved up, I think, my entire year and a half salary. I think maybe I used only like 10% of it because I was still living at home with my folks. Yeah. Wow. So I really didn't have, I think my expenses was just bus fare to and from work.
All right.
Yeah. So I used that to now get proper machines and now
Right.
start doing 3D animation.
Wow.
And register Fatboy Animations. Yeah.
Okay. Tinga Tales, I think, is the biggest animation project out of Kenya to date. If you ask me, maybe are there any other shows like in terms of a series?
I think Tinga is the biggest.
Yeah. And of course, it was heavily funded from outside. And animation is like the biggest genre of films and TV shows in the world, but it's so super expensive. And so I feel there's so many stories in Kenya that can be told through animation. Like one of my goals is to hopefully direct an animation feature film or a TV show. And you working on that project, and I keep asking myself, when do we get there as a country where we can do feature films? We can do our own Shark Tales and Rio and all these Marvel animations before the live action films. Yeah. When do we get there?
I feel we get there when you wanted to direct an animation.
Yeah.
We get there when you the producer, the guy with the experience, come together and just say, we'll do it. We just do it. Because it's just getting the we have the expertise on how to do it. Now you just need the funding.
Yeah.
And there's people who will fund.
This, big, because I know funding is usually the biggest challenge. Yeah.
And I think our challenge is just to convince them to give us the money we want. We'll make this. Yeah. I think we're not so far away. We're ready to make a feature or series.
Right.
Yeah. There's this, although there's this interview I saw, I think it's 50 Cent was giving, I was saying, it's very hard to make a film because you need stars. So you're better off doing a series.
Yeah. I saw that.
But either way, I mean...
Although, I mean, to his point now, because there a lot of the people distributing or showing the films are streamers. Nowadays, they're using more of algorithm than stars, but, just that's there. I'll hold you up to that. Why not? We can have this conversation after this. And yeah, I've always wanted to do an animation. And one of my pushes, because the reason Akina Marvel are making billions from their catalog is because these are animations that were done from when? In the 1930s? When did they first doing the sketchbooks, the books themselves? So this is IP that has grown for close to 100 years now. And because they're building on it, now they're able to do productions that can bring in billions. And for us as an industry and as a country to get there, we need to start now. We need to start getting our books. The books are transformed into shows, TV series, and then feature films. And so I can't wait for us to get started. And I think you're well there with Kapinto. I think Kapinto right now can do a whole show.
He can because we've done like a whole family of this, of Kapinto. This Kapinto family.
Right.
Different characters. I think maybe about 20 of them. Some are animals. We just haven't gotten down to doing stories for that include all of them, but they'll all be included in the coming, animations that we do.
Okay.
But ideally, I like the idea of turning it into a whole series and a whole feature film.
Man, that will be amazing. Wewe na Kapinto mlitoana wapi? Like I know there are very many people who go viral on social media. But why did you settle on Kapinto? You're like, I think with him we can work something out. So
with Kapinto, Kapinto wasn't actually even the first one that I tried this with. It's I had this character designed. And I have this picture of how I want them to look. And this is what I want them to do. I want these characters to go viral. That's...
for sure.
But now they need a voice. So I know nasemanga usishinde social media kila saa, but I had to when I was in bed just scrolling through
Looking for the
TikTok.
voice, yeah.
Yeah, just until I find something good. Because there's someone out there, and maybe hata kama it's not a star or whatever, but if they have that voice, that's the one we use. So the first one actually was Mike Mushiri. Remember that old shosho who's the M-Pesa?
The M-Pesa, yeah.
And Mama Michael and Domboy, that one.
Yes, Mama Michael.
And you know, he's so good because he does both voices. Like this family guy who does all the voices for all these characters.
The family,
yeah, so he's able to, even if the voices are similar, we're able to, the way we're able to bring those characters to life can tell a story as two different characters. So then that one also went viral. Actually, that was the very first one to go viral.
Right.
Mama Michael and Wamboi. And then we had now that Kapinto, who was supposed to be the baby kid of the family. And Kapesh was supposed to be the baby girl of the family.
Right.
But then now one night I'm scrolling, I see Kapinto. I'm like, no, now this is going to be Kapinto now.
Right.
Actually, the name, he didn't have a name. We picked Kapinto's name.
Yeah.
And I heard him talking. I was like, this one will fit the kid character. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, so I have this character. Can we collaborate?
Yeah.
I promise you we are going to go viral. And it's going to go big. So he was like, no problem, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, you don't have to do anything. I'll just pick whatever you've already done.
Yeah.
I'll cut them up to make a story about of what he needs to say.
Right.
If I need something extra, I'll let you know. We'll add it there.
Right.
So we just did that. We picked out about maybe 30, 40 of them.
Wow.
And then we started just making the different episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you the one who also comes up with the scripts, the content? Because I know, yes, you have Kapinto's voice, but for it to go viral, it's a skit, it's a story. It's
So I will when you go to his original page, you'll see there's so many ideas there. So I'll pick that and make either sometimes just to fill in the gap, we'll just make it directly. But to tell a story, we'll now rewrite it again in a way that I think will go viral.
Right. Or
we'll come up with something, but then we need to add different elements because it's the way he says it. The way he says it. Like I might remember a video where he said something in a certain way. I want to cut that piece and add it into the script like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. And look at that, man. Right now, it's the most viral sensation coming out of our country.
Yeah.
And I know we've jumped to Kapinto, but there's this whole array of bodies of work that you've done. What was the first project you worked on that became really big and finally, like, it hit you? Oh my goodness.
So this was now, and I think was my biggest test or challenge because I had been studying how to do 3D animation, but practically I didn't know how to do it. So we got the fiber job to do.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, look, they showed me a video of some animation of Google. They did an advertisement but it's just 3D cars. I think it's stop motion or 3D. So it's just cars moving on a highway. And they really liked that one. So they're like, can you make something like this for us? And I was like, I can make something better. So I was like, so they gave me the job. I went, I did the script.
Yeah.
Sat down, look at the script, and I was like, damn, how am I going to do this thing? I have no idea. So we just started. So sleepless nights trying to figure. You know, it's easy when you're producing something and you know how to do it, it will be a walk in the park. But if you don't know, so you get stuck, you have to go do some research, figure out how to do this, do some tutorials, come back, continue, like that. And so that the first one we made was that one for the caveman. And I don't know if going viral, I think, was on TV back at the time.
Yeah. Oh no, that one was big. That one was big. Yeah, it went viral on TV.
Yeah.
We were all talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were, even the clients were like, we've hit jackpot. So they're like, want another. So I'm like, okay, so now I don't have any idea for what to do next. So I sit down, brainstorm. Then I came up with the one for the smoke signals. They call it, is that your wife calling?
Yeah.
Boss. Yeah.
Boss. Yes.
Went viral as well. I think that was even bigger than the first one.
Right.
These guys got excited. You're like, I want another one.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, give me time.
Give me time to recover.
Yeah. So I wrote this script now for Mbogwa, this Kikuyu businessman.
Yeah.
They loved it. So what I realized is, these guys don't have restrictions. Just be creative.
Be creative.
So then that now made my work much, much easier.
Wow.
So there's no so I was like, I want to put this accent there. They don't have a problem. We put whatever accent do. There's one I did of, I think, Kakamega, which was a chicken dancing. Some guys were offended. Some were like, why us guys in Kakamega chicken? and other people are, human characters.
Right.
But and majority loved it.
Someone got offended from an animation.
Imagine.
Wow. Yeah.
So like, we kept doing that. Now Mbogo, I think now was like the biggest one.
Yeah, Mbogo just went super, viral.
Yeah.
And wow, I think the one thing that I've always loved about your work is staying true and authentic to the Kenyan voice. So the accents, the stereotypes, whether they like it or not, because a lot of animation, people will try and ape what is done out there, and kudos to you for that, man. That's amazing.
The thing I also used to wonder is, every time I'm seeing an animation or a cartoon, even if it's an advert, it's going to have a British accent. American.
Exactly.
Will it not be more catchy if the people watching see a cartoon that's talking like them?
Absolutely.
That's what will sell.
Yeah.
So I always try to, and of course guys will say, it's stereotype, but then when you watch the Western cartoons, you'll see this one speaks like the way the cowboys speak, the accent this one speaks with an Irish accent.
Absolutely.
No one has a problem with accents.
Yeah. Mario will speak with a bad Italian accent. Yeah.
So it's not even stereotype. It's not telling the story as authentically as it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I love that. So what were some of your biggest challenges? Because now you're getting in all this work, which is amazing. You're growing, but the demand is crazy. So what are some of the challenges you were facing as you were building up this huge portfolio, and how are you,
one of the biggest challenge was, guys would say that, this you've raised the bar so high. But the problem with that is there needs to be more people up there, because when the work is a lot, you can't do it all by yourself.
That's true.
So that became a challenge. The other one was, in the beginning it was a bit difficult to convince clients, to pay you to do this for them.
Yeah.
and hapo I started growing cold feet kidogo and thinking wazazi wenyewe they were right wakisema
I know.
how will you make a living drawing people?
Yeah.
So I was like, but I think just the consistency eventually paid off.
Yeah, for sure.
The hardware was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
That
I
was
can
a
imagine.
very big
And it's super expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive. And then you won't find it here because it's not the kind of, machines that people commonly buy.
Yeah.
So you won't find them stocked here. You go to any computer shop, they won't have it.
That's true.
So then you have to ship it in. It becomes even more expensive. Yeah,
Wow.
those
Those are some of the. All right. Okay.
And then it's, you'd think you've gotten now the best.
Yeah.
Until you realize those guys in Disney.
Yeah.
That one, they have like a million of them
working together to create. Yeah.
So well, it was a challenge. Meeting even deadlines. I was like, Evan, give me time.
And then now you're running a company, so you're used to being the creator, the person doing the actual work. But from my experience, there's passion and talent, and there's business here, and these two things are so different.
Yeah.
And so now, how do you start morphing now to being a businessman? Because you need to start chasing the checks, because the checks need to come in for you to be able to finish this work and then invest in the hardware. So now you're thinking more about the running the business as opposed to the actual creativity. How did you go about that?
So that I've tried to focus more now on the business side. Then over time, for a very long time I did it alone. That whole time with Kinambogo, and then so just
you were working alone
solo. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's I think maybe it's just been maybe 3-4 years where now got now a team.
Okay.
And this team also you train them the way that what so that the end result is not too far away from what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Or it's even slightly better or much better.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, so most of the time, they're the ones that would work on this creative stuff. I'll focus on the business. I'll jump in on creating because, as an artist, creating is like a drug. You have to create them out.
That is true. That is true.
So once in a while, I'll jump in and create something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, amazing. Let's go to the business. Still on the business. Your company is called Fat Boy Animation. But the gentleman sitting right in front of me does not carry that name.
Yeah.
And when I saw you today, I haven't seen you in a couple of years.
Yeah.
My first reaction was, wow.
Yeah.
Like your body has really transformed. Because your company was named Fat Boy because you grew up as a fat boy, and you've always been on the plus size for the longest. So first of all, what miracle drug are you using? This transformation is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Well, I didn't grow up big.
Okay.
Actually, the name Fat Boy was just I needed a name quickly to register quickly. So I was like, call it Fat Boy quickly. So actually my first job was, it was Orange Telcom.
Right.
And that, I think that was now like my biggest check.
Yeah.
That one was like that small boy, that 30K that was making me feel elite. Yeah. So now there was this one.
Yeah.
So for that job, I had to register a company quickly to because they were impressed with something and they were like, they specifically want me to do it.
Yeah.
So I started Fat Boy Animations and
right.
So but now of course unajua pia kweli sasa unaanza kukula unaanza kunona, so I'm the one who became now the Fat Boy.
So the name came before even the weight.
Yeah.
That's interesting. and then for you, your job, most of the time you're seated working on the computers.
Yeah. That becomes a challenge because you'll sit down for long hours.
Yeah.
You walk. He'll work sometimes overnight, over the weekend. You'll stop. You won't be doing. You become less active.
Right.
And I think because you don't have time also to go cook or something healthy or whatever, you start ordering in. You want energy drinks because you want is to drink a lot of Red Bull.
Wow.
Shark.
How many Red Bulls were you burning in a day?
I'd have like 3 of them there.
Wow.
It's almost every day or every weekend.
Wow.
Right. So then I became fat boy.
Right.
But then now over time I was like, man, this is too big. This is too big. I need to cut some weight. So just decided to become active, because also when you're unhealthy, it will clog your mind.
Oh yeah,
you're going to lose your creativity.
Absolutely.
If you sit down and you're not active, you're not out there, you're interacting with the world, you're not going to get any more new ideas.
That's true.
So ideas come from interacting with the world. There's TikTok and social media and Instagram and all that, which brings the world to your phone. But then now that's also dangerous, because you lie down and
you just scroll
scroll and look for this. So it's good to be out there, interact with the world, and you get ideas. So I think also my creativity was getting clogged, and it was a bit unhealthy for me. So I decided to check my diet properly, get into training, very intensive training.
Right.
Yeah.
What blew my mind is I when you told me that's the journey you've been on, so in my head I'm like, okay, so this has been like a 2-3 year journey. But as we're talking right now, we're in October, end of October. You started this regime in July of this year.
Yes.
How crazy how intensive was your workout? How many days were you working out?
Daily. I think I'd pick I'd rest either Saturday, Sunday, or just one of those two.
Right.
But when I started, it was daily. And the first day, I think I almost died.
I can imagine.
So that's what I know. I was very, very unhealthy.
Right.
But then just kept the consistency. But there's also the diet. Cut off all the junk food, cut off sugar completely.
Right.
Now if I taste sugar, I feel like puking. Kabisa.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Checked the times that I was eating. So I don't eat breakfast. I just eat either at noon or at 5.
Okay.
And that's, at my size at that time, and that's enough food. I don't need any more than that.
Right.
Yeah. I'll probably eat a lot when I'm having, not a lot, slightly more when I'm doing very, very intense workout.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. How many? So that's from July. You said July. So July, August, September, October. That's 4 months, man.
It's 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah. How much have you dropped in 4 months?
I remember I was 101.
Wow.
In July.
Right.
So now I'm at 90. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. That is so impressive. There's something you've mentioned about, not being healthy, and that cuts on your creativity. I'm just wondering, how do you keep going? Like, how do you keep yourself more creative? Like, how do you keep your ideas coming, the innovation? How do you strengthen that part of your brain?
So like the brain is just it's the same as the other parts of the body. If you don't exercise it, it will shrink. It will become weak.
Right.
So in the same way, to exercise your brain, you need to give your brain activities to do.
Right.
Yes, it could be puzzles, it could be even like shows that you watch. Even a show like this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. I used to watch this show. When did you start it? I was watching when I started watching this one.
I started it in 2021, took a break in 2022, came back last year, 2023.
Yeah, and you see that when you watch such things, some things will give you inspiration.
Wow.
The one that what I got was I needed to lose weight because naona ulikuwa umeunga. And I'm like, this guy, but he's not adding weight. It's just me.
Wow. Okay.
And he's a creative as well.
Right.
And I know, and I expect creatives because they're always seated.
Yeah. To add weight. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's eating right as well.
Right.
Because you need good food for your brain. Junk food will mess you up.
Yeah.
There's interacting now with people. You know, don't always creatives have a habit of you give them the comp, you give them the work to do on the animation. That's all they want. They want to sit there. True. You don't want to talk to people. You don't want to.
Dealing with people is hard.
Yeah, it's very hard.
I get that.
It stresses him. Yeah. But so you have to try and do that as well. So I try and like events, go for events.
Wow.
If it's blankets and wine, go for. You're having probably guys are meeting for nyama choma. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I love that. It's interesting. One of the ways I pick out, especially writers for my shows and the work that I do, is the first thing you need to be social.
Social, yeah.
Yeah, because I've worked with writers who are very introverted. And so a lot of the work they write is, there's a name for it. It's your own eco... I forget the name. But yes, they will write like really, really creative work, but it doesn't... aingiani na wase. Like people don't connect with it. And I realize the secret is one, just talk to people.
Yeah.
You need to talk more to people than the time you spend on your laptop.
Yeah.
So the writers that I work with, ukipatana now, you'd never think they're writers because ni watu wa watu, they're so extroverted. But I realize that's my secret.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. Just doing a lot of research on you before you came on the show. I see you've also won Forbes Top 30 Under 30 in 2016. So I see a lot of these awards. I've never won. I don't even know if people apply, or I don't know how it goes, but I've always been curious. Does it have an impact? And I love this because you're in our creative sector. Does winning such a title have an impact on your career?
It does. It does.
Okay.
It does to a certain extent. Okay. Especially in the early times of started Fatboy animations. It was very hard, very difficult to convince any client. Let's do animation.
Yeah.
Or if they needed to do animation, it's very difficult to convince them why they should use Fatboy. But so the awards give you a bit of credibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Na pili ilinisaidia when I was looking for my visa to go to States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it made it a bit easy.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So the one thing I've really loved about the way you're working and the way you're moving is you're big on social media. Now, animation, because it's mostly known as a very expensive tool, you don't find a lot of people dedicating a lot of time and work just for social media. Like most animators will create when there's a client paying. Now, for you to just create purely for social media, there's no one funding. Why that route? And is it paying off? And yeah, because you don't see that a lot with animators.
To be honest, if it wasn't paying off, I wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't do it just for fun.
Yeah.
But I think the fun part is a plus for me because I'm enjoying it and people are enjoying it.
Right.
But it still has to pay off because that's tutakula nini.
That is true. That is true.
So, but also for you to get a payoff, you also have to take a risk.
Yeah. That's true.
Calculated risk, not just any risk. So for example, what I saw is like companies are doing less of adverts and you're doing more of hiring influencers.
That's true.
And I'm like, okay, I can't be an influencer, but these characters can be influencers. So let's make them popular, and they'll become influencers, and clients will pay to use them.
Right.
And the beauty of it is we can make limitless number of influencers with cartoon characters.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
I know there was an animation that went viral a couple of years back. I don't know if I can remember the name. And it was created, they created an account, a social media account for it. It was a dark-skinned doll, if I'm not wrong. The person who made it popular was this tennis player, Serena Williams' daughter. It's an animation. That was the first time I thought, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You can actually now start creating characters and have them have social medias and they become influencers.
Yeah.
And the beauty about it, if I'm the influencer, I can only be field director. So just one. But for you, you can have as many influencers as 20 or 100 if you wanted.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. And the more, even if, maybe we're not making even any money from Carpinto now, probably just give it maybe 3 years. Let's make this thing so popular.
Yeah.
Such that, and the beauty of it is kids love all cartoons.
Oh yeah.
If we want to put this character on the packs for Blue Band, we make a
merchandising.
deal. Yeah. So it has a lot of potential.
I really, really hope you're working on something like that with Carpinto, because Carpinto is just, and I'm just curious what the partnership you guys have been able to. I know a lot of times when there are collaborations and the money starts coming in, there's always problems, but so far from you stable, it's been okay. It's been quiet.
It's good, and I think the whole idea is to be fair. Be fair with whoever you're collaborating with.
Yeah,
and being honest. Don't let the other party don't allow the other party to start feeling that now I'm being played or something. So just being fair. Nikilipwa, I have to pay. And that's not true. At TCG after 30-60 days. I've been paid, I pay you. It's immediately. Right. So such things. So building confidence with each other. Doing such things builds the confidence. When one party now starts diverting away from that, now it starts messing things up. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. All right. Usually towards the tail end of the conversation, just as well getting to know you. Animation takes a lot of time. You spend a lot of hours working on your computer, and I'm just curious about how you plan your day. Because I've worked with post-production people, animators. You guys don't sleep. You guys will work 48, 72 hours, especially when there's a deadline. And for you, you've been consistent with the gym and working out and still putting in the work. So how do you structure your day?
My first thing, I wake up, naomba, and I'll check my emails and now get into biashara sasa. If sometimes I'll get into some creative work. Most of the time there's work that the team is already doing, so they'll continue the creative stuff. And then obviously I'll go to the gym. Sleeping, I sleep a lot. The days I used to avoid sleep, your brain needs sleep as well.
Yeah.
So I don't deny myself that. So a good 8 hours is good. Is okay.
For sure.
So just the daily routine. Most of the time, I'm also just looking and trying to get the next idea.
Right.
Because they have a life shelf. The content that we have. So we're going to have to shelf it ikisha, and then wait a couple of years before we bring it back again. But so in between, we need to have new stuff coming in.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So another question I ask a lot of the guests that I have is what top 3 books they can recommend. But I know you're an animation and cartoon guy. Is there cartoons or animations that you watch for purposes of learning or motivation?
So I think I watched them over and over again.
Yeah.
First of all the Pixar animations. All the Pixar animations. Cars, Inside Out.
Yeah.
A very good animation I watched recently called The Wild Robot.
I loved The Wild Robot. Yeah. I teared up because of The Wild Robot. It was an animation. It was a cartoon. It's about robots. Yeah. But it was so emotional. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
So that's, such things. Right. There's the animation style, but the animation brings out, it makes you feel something.
Oh, yeah.
That's what animation should be.
I love it.
Yeah. And there's this series I keep watching over and over again. I go through the seasons, I think, every week. Yeah. Love, Death, and Robots.
That's a crazy one. I love it, but that's a crazy one. Yeah, love.
But it's what's amazing about it has different animation styles. Each episode is a different animation style, different, and the stories are like that's not the ending you expected.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
One book I like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. There's a book
It's called Fall in Love with the Problem, Not the Solution.
Fall in love with the problem, not the solution.
Yeah, by some I think Wozniak, forgotten the name. Where there's a problem, that's why you're going to really make it big.
Yeah.
Because if there's no problem, if there's nothing to be solved, then there'll be no need for invention, innovation, and there was no animation industry really back in that 2008-9 here in Kenya.
Yeah.
There are no schools. So that was a problem.
Yeah.
And we were not able to. I mean, till today, people are saying, "No, how do we tell our stories?" The animation stuff. So that's a problem.
Yeah,
for sure. So that's a problem. Okay. I fell in love with.
All right.
Then the solution will come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that solution will now be the reward.
Yeah. Love it. Love that. I when you said Pixar animations for one of the reasons I super love Pixar animations is because they always have a theme and an aspirational or inspirational message at the end of their films, which is for me top tier for good content.
Yeah.
Do you know, weirdly enough,
mi
nilishindwa kuwatch animations watu wana curse. The family guys and I don't know. I grew up with that innocence of Tom and Jerry, and I don't know. For some reason, I'm like, no, cartoons should not be vulgar. I don't know why. That's that's just me. But yeah.
You know what I learned from actually watching Family Guy, because since I've already watched the episode, I know it, but I'll still go back and watch, and I'd watch it and look at it and be like, these guys are taking a lot of shortcuts in producing this thing.
Okay.
And we're missing it. And that, that's what we're missing. We can do the same thing. Because if you see the way the characters move, it's not the way Disney characters move.
Yes.
and especially also these Japanese animations.
Animation,
That's a lot of shortcuts. This is a guy. He stood there for a whole 3 minutes, and it's just the coat blowing, and the mouth just moving like this. Only two shapes.
Then when they're fighting, unaona two lines are white with the swords.
Hey, so I'm like, I can adapt some of these shortcuts when I'm making even this carpenter animation.
Right.
The only part I need to put a lot of detail is in his face.
Right.
That's why you'll see people commenting, that expression, that nini, or whatever.
For sure.
And how his pupils move. And how the pupils move, I learned that from Pixar. If you watch, just look at the eyes.
Yeah. Any Pixar
they're
film.
all the same kind of animation, how the eyes move. And the way the eyes move will bring out an emotion. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And if you've not watched Wild Robot, I think for me, so far, that's the best performance by Lupita. I don't know.
Yes.
She brought out that character for me to date. I've watched all Lupita's films.
Yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o, that's the best performance.
That's the
best. According to me.
Yeah.
I love it. Wow. Yeah, we could speak about films for hours. Now we're in the zone.
Yeah.
Do you have a mantra, a daily mantra that you keep telling yourself that keeps you going?
Yeah, it's you have to pay taxes. you have to pay your taxes.
I love it. Umetudunga kwa roho, but oh my God, I love it.
And I just, just reminding myself that just know it's almost at 50%. So if you better keep going.
I just today as we speak, I just came from paying. I was late at filing my taxes. So today I was doing it. Where were zile fines nimelipa?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so timely. Yeah. You have to pay. You have to pay taxes.
You're going to have to pay.
Right.
Yeah. And also, there's a new story out there every day. Because whatever happens, like today, tomorrow there'll be a new story.
That is true.
And those stories will keep piling up and piling up. So you need to go out there, find them and tell them. And keep going. I think keep going, Bana, because I think just slip a tax and don't die.
Keep paying taxes.
Yeah.
I hope that's motivation enough for you, classmates. You have to pay your taxes, so keep going. Do you have a stranger than fiction story? Something, I mean, for me, Will Smith is right at the top there, but something that happened, unajua hii nikiambia watu wataniamini, but aki nani ili happen ukweli.
I think nitawambia in the next
next interview.
In the next interview.
Right. So many young guys coming up and they are aspiring to be animators, filmmakers. They want to do what you're doing. What's your advice to them?
It takes a lot of commitment, and you have to be ready to to do that, especially at a young age. The kind of commitment you're going to put in at a young age is not the kind, the effort you're going to put in at a much old age. So do it early, when you have the time and the strength and to do that. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Always keep learning.
Right.
Don't let any day pass when you've not learned something new.
Yeah.
Tech is advancing so fast, so keep up with technology. Don't let it pass you. Don't shy away from AI.
Okay.
AI is there to make your work easier, not to take over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, that's a huge aspect in your world.
Yeah.
Right now, with a few prompts, you have.
I mean, if it wasn't for AI, I'd still be drawing those, I don't know, a million frames for.
Yeah.
So embrace it, use it to to make your work easier, because at the end of the day, what you want to do as an animator is tell your story. Yeah, not show off your skills in the animation stuff, because I mean Disney can do it, overnight.
Yeah, for sure.
So aim to tell your story. Use AI to help you do that.
Story is king.
Story is king.
Oh man, amazing. I think for me it's been a very, very personal conversation, because this is a brother in the industry, and I look up to him, the work he's doing and the way he's been able to revolutionize animation in this country. So I am very happy. I hope you've gotten really good gems that you can use in your business and in your day-to-day life as well. Thank you so much, Mike, for your time, and I hope we can have this convo more. Yes. And we've said this on camera, so it has to happen. If you and I don't make a full feature film or a series, an animation series, itakuwa makosa kubwa sana.
Makosa kubwa.
Yeah. Now I'm excited.
Yeah. I'll follow through. We have the skill and ability to do it.
Absolutely.
You guys have the story. Some of the best films, it's guys. Well, I'm sure maybe that will even be the story with the Wild Robot. Maybe these guys were seated at a bar and it's like, what if robots were wild?
Yeah.
It's called we make something.
Yeah.
It just starts like that. Man. So the best films start like just a normal conversation like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. We're going to end it there. We're still filming at Longonot Place. Come book your staycation with them. They have amazing rates and they are amazing people. We've been shooting here for like 2 years now, and I love the partnership I have with them. Thank you so much, and until next time, tupatane class.